Well, g'day everyone. Today we're having a squiz at Sandustry. Sandustry is going to is a game about mining, mining for resources, creating automation, exploring a planet, and uncovering secrets and stuff like that. This is published by Hooded Horse, which is one of my most favourite publishers. Indeed, they do post really they do support and publish really good games, so we're going to get stuck straight into Sandustry. Actually, let's just cancel that. Sorry, I'm going to create a new game because I have had a try of this. So you've got a seed here basically, which allows you to do that, and then you've got the world name here, so you can generate your world. You can change your world name if you want to. When the sand begins to whisper, the wardens awaken. So it basically generates a randomly seeded world. So every time you play, so you could sort of like once you'd gone as far as you possibly could, whether there is as far as you possibly can, then you could start the game again on a completely different map. Mission brief: planet PX47 assignment, establish link. Mission brief: Archon Pry, Sentinel Command, welcome Prospector. I am Archon Pry, orbital overseer of the Heliodyne Sand Survey Program. Positive probe telemetry has greenlit an on-site sand survey of PX47 to assess gold yield potential. Yep, it's all about making money. Extract sand and build an initial gold production factory. Let's confirm that mission. Incoming uplink. This is Flight Officer Zoe, your orbital operations support. I'll guide you through the mission, but first things first, drop pod is locked on trajectory and cleared for dispatch. Ready when you are. Let's launch this little beast. Now, in the gameplay that I when I was testing it out and stuff like that, it's one of those games that is actually quite it's quite like you could sink yourself into it really like for hours, just with the it's kind of mesmerizing. I found it mesmerizing, and working out production chains and stuff like that is awesome as well. All right, hold mouse left to dig terrain. Where are we going to go? Let's maybe dig some terrain up here, shall we? Okay, so you can hold that. We've got our shovel here, which is good. Lovely. You've got to be really close to it. But there is upgrades, there is technology, there's different tools that you can utilize for your digging and stuff as you get further into the game, which is really cool. So it opens up a lot of technological offerings and stuff like that. All right, number 2, press the grabber, which we will grab. Click, hold, and drag to pick up sand. All right, let's grab that. And it wants us to drop it in the water. I think we'll drop it in this little bit of water for now, shall we? Should we? No, we might drop it in this little bit of water over here. Well, this big bit of water. Let's drop some sand in here. Okie dokie, like so. There we go. We'll get that, and it turns sand basically into, as you see hovering over it, into wet sand, which is what we're going to need to process gold. All right, here we go. So it wants us to pick up wet sand and shake it. There we go, which gives us gold. Drop that into there. Beautiful. We'll shake some more, and we'll drop that into there. Actually, if I shake it over here. There we go, because we're getting waste. We get like a waste as well, which is called residue. I can actually pick all of that residue up and dump it over there if I want to, just to keep everything nice and neat, because I do like keeping things nice and neat. I love how you can sort of hold and drag across to fill up. It now wants us to open the tech tree. Let's shake a little bit more gold like this. And dump it into here, which is the collector. There we go. Lovely. And dump that into there. So it wants us to open the tech tree. Let's open the tech tree. Research the shaker, which is right here. Shaker can separate gold, no worries. Open the build menu with Q. Okay, Q, build shaker and foundation. All right, so it wants me to build it over here rather than over here, and we'll eventually work on that over there as well. Let's grab some sand and drop it into here. There we go. We'll drop that into there. We'll drop a whole pile of sand into here without overflowing it. I love the pixels, like everything's pixel based. Let's grab ourselves a shaker. Wants us to put a shaker into here, which is good. It wants us to build a foundation here, like so, which is good. Drop wet sand on the shaker. So let's go back into our grabber and we'll drop wet sand onto the shaker, like so. And there we go. Now it wants us to earn enough to research logistics, which is going to be good. Let's just get rid of residue. And we'll get rid of that residue as well. Beautiful. All right, research logistics. I don't know how much logistics is going to cost us. It's going to cost us 30. So what we need to do is I might actually I'm just going to do it this way for now. I know it wants us to use the shaker, which we can. I mean, we can put it on we can put stuff on the shaker there, but I'll just also manually do this as well. There we go. Drop that in there. We'll get rid of that. Turn that into a piece of gold. Get rid of that. Throw that there. Grab that gold and throw it into there. Grab all of that residue and just dump it all out there. And we'll grab this residue as well. Beautiful. Let's put some more sand in here. Let's throw those over. It's a little bit more sand there that we've dug up. There is a patch there that we can dig by the looks of it, so that's pretty cool. I think I've gone outside of the tutorial area. Research logistics. We should have enough now to research logistics, which unlocks a conveyor and a launcher. All right, so it wants us to build a conveyor and a launcher. So let's grab a conveyor belt. Let's build a conveyor belt there. Now, I believe that it's the direction that you drag it in is the direction that it'll go in. It also wants us to build a launcher. Actually, let's just cancel that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build a launcher here, and you'll see why in a minute. There we go. Lovely. So you'll see why in a sec. So before I did that, I was going to build that. Now we'll also build that there and that up there. All right, cool. Lovely. Now we're going to build a launcher here. Let's run that up there and make sure that that's in the correct direction. And now it's going to process our gold for us. Let's just throw another one of those in there just to make sure. And throw those down there. Beautiful. All right, cool. So now it's doing it is running a little bit too fast. So we are actually losing a bit of wet dirt there, which means we're actually losing profit as well. All right, so it wants us to hold C and drag on that. So if we hold C for cut, drag on that, move that across to there. Beautiful. X for delete. Let's drag X across there and we'll delete that. Fantastic. Now, control to build over existing structures. Alt for alternative mode, like reversing conveyor belt direction. Expand your collector bucket or build new ones to fit more gold. All right, cool. Okay, you know the drill. Dig and refine sand into gold so we can judge if this rock is worth a full build out. Meet factory processing targets to raise viability and unlock more tech to push the operation further. Cool. Sensors show high psionic activity in the dune wakes of class Colossus entities. Designation Coal 8. Is that Coal 8 or Coal 0? Coal 0, I think. But levels remain within acceptable parameters. Okay, cool. So we have achievements here to unlock different tiers and stuff. It wants us to reach factory tier 2, which is perfectly fine. So we've got some other technology that we want to work towards doing. Hover would be a good one for starters. So let's grab that gold, throw that in there, like so. And we'll grab that. At the moment, we're just manually doing this, but at some point in time, we're going to get to the point where we can actually close that off. We're going to get to the point where we can actually like automatically take all of our gold and dump it into one of these. Now, what we can do is we can actually expand this. So we can go there, we can go there, and we can go there, like that, right? And we'll hold X there, like so. Delete that, grab this, and we'll turn this into a collector here, like that. So that will all be collected then, which is really cool. And that makes it a larger collector. All right, sweet. Let's just grab this wet sand and put that onto there, and we'll let this process because it at the moment we can't sort of filter everything out. We'll grab that wet sand, we'll throw that in there, and we'll let the rest of this stuff filter out as well. There's a little bit of wet sand in there as well. I'm just trying to be a tight ass, as you can see, and we'll drop those into there. Cool. Happy, 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 happy. All right, now you can see we've got an issue with our wet sand down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a conveyor belt in there like that. And I'm going to put one in there. And then that's just going to direct all of the sand into that area. But we're going to suffer that issue again as well. Let's just head up here. Research hover. So we've got 80 coins. Let's go back into here. 50 coins we can research hover, which is good. We've got map, unlocks the mini map. We've got sprint boost, and we've got filter. Filter is the next one that we want to unlock. So we need to get up to 250. So let's just go into here and we'll just start digging stuff. Let's dig some more stuff out. Lovely. Just gather as much sand as we possibly can. Go to 1. We'll grab that. Why won't it... oh, no, go to 2, sorry. We'll grab that. Let's drop this sand in here. And let it work its magic. Make us money. There we go. You can see our water is being used up because obviously it's soaking into the sand. Oh, there we go. There's a little bit of water in here as well, which is going to create its own wet sand, basically. There we go. Let's get some of this. Now, it doesn't really matter. Like, we can drag the wet sand on top there. That doesn't really matter, but I'm just going to drag it into here. I know that's all right. No, I should drag it up here, actually. The reason being is we don't want to use up the water. I don't know whether it will use up the water, but we'll throw dry sand, just normal sand, into there. Right, what have we got gold-wise? Let's throw some gold in. Each one of these is about, yeah, it's a fair bit. It's about 16 or something, 16 pieces of gold, each full handful, which is pretty cool. Throw that over there, throw that over there. It's still processing a little bit of gold. We're up to 116. So let's throw some more in there, like so. And then what I think we're going to end up having to do is we're going to end up having to build in this direction here. So, because we're going to run out, basically. Did we unlock? I thought that we unlocked hover. Bases hover. There we go. Hover is on. Now this is a bit of a game changer for us in the sense of it's just going to make everything so much easier to be able to hover and stuff. All right, let's grab ourselves some more wet sand. Throw that on there. just to make sure that we utilize all the, because we're absolutely out of water down there. So let's grab that as well. We'll throw you in. And I like how the wet sand goes down to the bottom of the residue as well. Like it'll throw on the pile, but it'll end up down the bottom, which is actually really cool. There we go. So we'll drop these in as well. We want to get up to enough money to be able to do that sorter, which would be really, really cool. All right, lovely. Since we've got a toolbox, which is our tab, which tab opens up our upgrades, our building, our research and stuff. Upgrades are locked at the moment. We're trying to get up to there to unlock that. I think that'd be better than sprint boost, to be honest. So let's throw that in there and let's grab what wet sand we can from there. And then over here, we'll grab this wet sand as well. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to put that there, not on top of there. And as you can see, nothing will go into here except for gold. It's a payday. Let's drop that down there. Let's drop that on there. Utilize all of this wet sand that we can possibly utilize. And this is, as you can imagine, absolutely and utterly tiny in comparison to where we are going to go with this game. You know, it's just building space feels almost unlimited, guys. We'll grab some more of this wet sand here. We'll grab these. We'll throw those in there like so. There we go. And there. Throw that up there. Just getting all of this wet sand here. And throwing that through there before we go. And we're going to go into here and we're going to actually start building all of this again, but we're going to build it here. So, and hopefully set it up so that our gold will automatically go in there, which I think we're going to do right now. There we go. Let's throw that in there, throw that in there, and throw that in there. We're going to build a very, very similar system. So we'll come up and we'll do the shaker. Yeah, the issue, I have an issue at the moment in regards to I want to be able to get the gold to come out the conveyor belt and go up there, but you can't cross here until you get an unlock a little bit later on. So let's get wet sand. We'll throw that in there. Some more wet sand. There we go. So we'll keep going like this. And then we'll figure out exactly what we are going to do. So what we want to do basically is we probably want to launch maybe out here somewhere where this stone, there's something under here. Oof. There's something going on here and we can't dig this at the moment until we get an upgrade. So all right, lovely. So what we want to do is we want to probably if we zoom over to here, we can probably keep through. Oh, there's a cave over here as well. Wow. So much stuff here to work out, to explore and stuff. Now there are artifacts and all that type of stuff that you can actually discover in here as well, which is part of sort of the digging and the exploratory. It's like the exploratory aspect of the game. So, but so far, don't know what that is. It's just a little bit of grass by the looks of it. There we go. But so far, yeah, there's so much potential in here. There is so much potential in here. All right, let's grab ourselves some more because we need more wet sand to throw onto there. We'll make sure once we've got one piece of wet sand like that, then we can actually pick up the rest of it, which is pretty cool. Let's throw that in there. Wet sand, and we'll scoop all of that up. We'll probably throw that into the bottom there, and we'll throw that into there, and that'll create wet sand there for us. And we'll throw that. I know that I can be automating all of this, guys. But I'm just trying to... there we go, wet sand. Beautiful. Just trying to make it a little bit easier for us. And I think once we unlock this sorter, that's actually probably going to be a good thing as well. So let's go into T. Let's unlock the filter, which works like a conveyor belt, but can allow a certain element to pass through. So that's actually going to be really, really good. And the reason why that's going to be really good is because it's going to allow us a little bit more, like some more possibilities in regards to the way we lay everything out. So let's go through there. We'll get all of this stuff here, just grabbing all of it as much as we possibly can. And but we will utilize this at some point in time. We're going to have to dig some more. All right, what's our next upgrade that we're going to work towards? Flare gun, wall light, map, sprint boost. We need to unlock tier 2, so we need to shake at least 4,000 wet sand. So what I want to do is I want to come up. I want to come up here. And I want to run a filter. I want to run a filter. So we'll filter wet sand. And I want to run this way like that. So we'll filter all the wet sand out. Right. All other materials will actually go this way. No, I want to do just normal conveyor belt. And I want to conveyor the rest of this over to here. And I want it to drop off here. Like that. And it's going to take all of the junk. Now, once that has filtered the wet sand and brought the wet sand out here, then we need to drop it onto a shaker. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw a shaker in here. Like so. That'll drop that down to the shaker. We'll close that off there, which is good. And it's going to shake and it's going to drop down onto a conveyor belt. Just normal conveyor belt, which runs basically here like that. In fact, we're going to run it all the way to there. Then we're going to grab ourselves a launcher. We're going to bring the launcher up to there like that, and just a little bit of a conveyor belt to there so that it can launch everything into here. So we'll have our gold drop down. We're going to need to put a launcher on here up to there. And so if I just go, no, actually, let's just delete that. There we go. If we grab a launcher, start here, run this launcher up to there, like that. And then we need to basically run the launcher into the sand here. But we do need to do a couple of things. We need to put that in there, like so. And that's going to prevent us from any sort of wet sand or anything from falling out there, which is going to be perfectly fine. This is going to sort everything and let wet sand through. And now we need to grab this and throw it into here like this. Like so. And that's going to bring that up. Now we'll bring conveyor belts again across here. No. Let's bring conveyor belts across here. Can we do that? Is that going to work? Oh, we might be on the wrong part. All right. So bring conveyor belts in there, and we'll bring conveyor belts in there. All right, so now we should be getting gold, and gold should be going through there. And we didn't think about this, did we? we didn't think about the residue and what we're going to do with the residue. So that's going to be an issue. How do we deal with the residue there, which is supposed to be going along that conveyor belt? All right, I think what we might do with that, there we go, we've got gold just dropping in there automatically. Everything's good there, which is fantastic. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that for now, just to stop that from running stuff up. And we're going to need to run a conveyor belt. Actually, what I'll tell you, I know exactly what we can do. I know exactly what we can do. We can grab a filter, and we want to filter gold and only let gold go through. And we want to run that to there. And then we want to run a, if I just go X, delete that there. And we run a launcher from here up to there, like that. And then throw this on here. And then what that should do for us is it should drop the gold in here and take everything else away. Let's just check to make sure that that does work by deleting this. There we go. So that's just going to run that stuff. That's going to come up here and it's going to go onto here. And it should only technically drop gold into there. We don't have any gold in here at the moment, but that should run through there and then go up there. Beautiful. All right, so what we'll do is we'll grab that launcher, we'll continue on with that, and we'll grab some more sand. Beautiful. Let's get in and do some more digging here. Get ourselves some more sand and get ourselves some more gold happening. I'm going to keep my eye on what's happening with that conveyor belt up the top there. There we go. Lovely. Let's get our grabber and run that into there. Throw that in there like so. Get all of that happening. And we'll get some more stuffs. There we go. We could actually, if we wanted to, run a launcher in here onto a conveyor belt to run sand through, rather than dragging it like this, which would probably be a good thing to do. Let's get our little shovel hands on again, and we'll get ourselves some more. Can't wait to get some upgrades that make this a lot faster, this digging, but in the initial stages it's quite relaxing anyway. Let's dig all of that stuff up. There we go. Lovely. And this is it. Yeah, you can see our gold is dropping down now, so it's bringing everything up and it's dropping our gold down. Everything else is coming across here and is dumping there. Fantastic. Love it. Love it. Okay, we'll throw that over here. Over the top there, like so. Get some more of that in. And I think what we can do is we can probably automate this a little bit as well, I think. And I think that's what we'll kind of do. Maybe, rather than sort of dragging this in, but we are getting quite a bit of cash there, guys. So we still need to get up to shaking. What is it? We're almost getting to tier 2, which is going to be good. And we've got some beautiful gold coming through here. And what I might do, I'm going to pause the system. So I'm just going to cut that for a sec. let that drop out. It's just going to keep running itself and dropping itself out, which is perfectly fine. I'm going to get our grabber and I'm going to grab the gold, drop it in here. I want to grab the wet sand and I want to drop the wet sand in because I can see an issue here. Let's grab that. Where's the wet sand? Right there. So we'll wait until all of this happens. That's all residue. We'll throw all of that up here. We're missing out on pay dirt. We're missing out on the wet sand, so I need to make sure that we're okay. We'll throw all of that up there. This is going to be a big pile, but there is a way to get rid of this stuff eventually, I believe. So, like, I think eventually we can just burn off all of the residue, which is pretty cool. Let's throw that in there. We're making an absolute fortune here, guys. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to go X, and I want to delete this through here, and I want to add another filter. And with this filter, I want to filter, I only want wet sand to fall through it. So if we run that there, only wet sand will fall through that. Then we will run another conveyor belt just along here like this and back into the water like that. And just to neaten that up, we'll just throw that up there. Beautiful. All right, lovely. So that now should, in effect, do what we need it to do. Let's bring that over to there, and yeah, that should be okay. So now we just need to continue. We just need to build that up, and that'll continue building that. And now we'll be able to, any wet sand that does get through here because of volume will actually be recycled and back into there. So that's pretty good. There we go. Let's grab all of this. But you can imagine the complexities of production lines that you can do, and it's not just about getting the sand. Obviously, you have to get the sand because you have to get the gold, right? We know that. We know that we need gold because gold is money, and gold is, oh crap! Look at that. And gold is what allows us to continue to expand, right? Which is really, really good. Let's throw that stuff in there. I'll just get rid of all of this. But there are other resources and stuff. I'm not sure exactly at this point in time because I haven't got that far what role and what part they play. But I'm sure that they're perfectly fine, right? There we go. We've got that happening there. And you can see that when we're getting, wet sand through, it's actually coming through as well. We have now done our tier 2, so we can unlock tier 2, which is fantastic. Now, this is where it gets really, really fun. Let's accept this incoming call. Nice pace. Additional tech tree routes approved. It's also time to start thinking about your water supply. I've tagged the location of some ancient boiler ruins on your map. Exploring them after you've unlocked the flamethrower might give you ideas on how you can get cave water flowing to your factory. Perfect. All right, which is going to allow us to boil. What I do want to do first is we can unlock map, and I want to unlock flamethrower. And at some point in time, conveyor portal is going to be super, super exciting. So there's boiler information over there. That's what we need to do. All right. What I want to do here, though, is I just want to show you what we can actually do with this. We can actually set this alight with our flamethrower. And this will burn down. And it's a great way to keep everything. That'll just keep burning. And it's a great way just to keep everything neat and stuff. And eventually we will actually set this up so that it actually just continues to burn. I don't think we've unlocked I don't think we've unlocked the technology for, see, burner belt, thermal buffer, weaver flashlight, wall light, kinetic press. Further process burnt residue into more gold. That would actually be really, really cool as well. And the conveyor portal is going to be really good too. So upgrades, still no upgrades there. Building, we haven't actually unlocked any. We haven't actually unlocked anything that we can utilize to. There we go. Anything that we can utilize to actually automatically burn this, like in a big burner, but we will. Right. Lovely. The next thing that we want to do probably is do just a little bit more digging here and get some more sand happening. Because we're running out of sand, which means we're running out of the ability to upgrade. So. Oh, that's pretty cool. It just all fell down there. I don't know. Just unlocking all these or opening up all these little caverns. But you kind of don't want to lose your sand, do you? Can we get through there? I don't think we can. No, it's all rock through there, so we can't dig through rock at the moment. We're not qualified. Okay, let's grab some more of that and get some more sand happening there. Cool. Let's just grab the rest of this out. Get it all in here so that it can all be processed. Like so. And that there too. Beautiful. Beautiful. It'll allow us to dig. Let's go and explore this over here, right? We're going to have to dig this chunk. Oh, no. Don't have to dig that chunk out. So it looks like they've created a boiler here. Okay, cool. Right, these show a natural system for collecting water from caves. Boil water into steam, let it rise. Once high enough, it condenses into rain. Use blocks to direct the steam and create a natural rain catcher. Right, so you've got the water coming into here. You've got water coming into here, and I'm guessing that we've got burners. We're going to have burners somewhere. That's going to create... it's going to create rain here. Right, that's going to be pretty interesting to see how that system works. I know how a boiler works because I've worked on them. But it's going to be pretty interesting to see how we can utilize that to get our own water as well. But at the moment, we're kind of okay for water. Not super fantastic, but we are going to need to create our own water at some point as well. There we go. That's probably about it in there. Let's get these in. We'll throw those into there. And we need to continue to dig stuff out, right? Well, we do have a big... We do still have that big initial area there as well, which is over here. So we've got like all of this to dig out as well. Let's get our digging. Let's get our dig on. We'll take all of this out. And we may end up automating this. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how we go. And then the beauty is with this here, once this pile starts to get too high, we can actually just put normal conveyor in here and move the drops down to being a bit further along, which is actually good. Let's keep this going. To get to tier 3, we're going to need to press burnt residue. So it'll be interesting to see how we do that. That's going to be an upgrade for us, or an unlock, a technology unlock. There we go. Let's throw that into there. The other thing that is worth noting, guys, as well, is that we have you have multiple layers here for all of your building stuff as well. So just in case you were wondering about that. Let's just see if we can get some more sand happening here, because we're definitely going to need more sand. There we go. Be nice to find a nice big water sort of underground water lake or something that we could utilize as well. We'll get that there. Keep going here. Dig all of this out. Lovely. Oh man, this is actually it's actually so addictive. So addictive. All right, so we've got plenty of sand there, which is no worries. Didn't really. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Once we can start digging through rock and stuff, that's actually going to be really, really cool. Let's grab our grabber and we'll just throw some more stuff. I like how you can just do it through the walls here, which is fantastic. It's like good quality of life. Everything just runs so smoothly in this, and everything just works so naturally, which is fantastic. There we go. We'll grab you. We'll keep this going, and we'll keep our money going up, and then we're going to see exactly how we can utilize this presser. There we go. Throw that into there. Right. Cool. We'll let all of that work. There we go. Throw that up there too. And we'll let all of this work its way up and become gold. Beautiful. All right, there we go. Here we are. Here we are. There and right. Cool. Let's get up here and let's have a look at what we've got. First thing I want to do is I want to get rid of all of these, because there's absolutely no point in having any of this here. No point at all. Right. Beautiful. Beautiful. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab that. Actually, I probably shouldn't have done that. Because this is exactly what we've got to burn off. So let's grab our grabber and we'll throw that in there. I'm just going to throw this stuff in here, like so. Just get our wet sand on there and actually reprocess our wet sand. Just to get it out of the way. Looks like because of the amount of stuff that we've got a lot of gold coming through as well. Okay, T. Conveyor portal would be fantastic. Sweeper drone, unlock sweeper drones to easily collect materials from the ground. Cryo blaster, which can produce infinite snow that can freeze water, solidify lava, and be steamed into rain. That's actually pretty good. Let's unlock the kinetic press for now, and then the next one we're going to do is the conveyor portal. So, a kinetic press. How does a kinetic press work? I have no idea how a kinetic press works. Right, that's something that I'm going to have to work on, I think. That's definitely something that I'm going to have to work on. Whoa. Let's just delete that. So, is there an idea on how this works? Drop burnt residue on the kinetic press from a great height to refine it into gold and seed. Ooh. Okay. That sounds good. Let's grab a let's just grab ourselves a little conveyor belt. Whereabouts are we here? We're there. Let's grab ourselves a little conveyor belt here to here, like so. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking. Let's get the kinetic press. Run that through here like so. Like so. Let's run that up there. Run this up here. Right, and then what we want to do is we want to run this down to here, and then we want it to come out here, like so. Let's delete that. We want it to come out here, and we want it to run along. Then what we need to do is we need a separator here. So we're going to do another conveyor belt, which runs through this way to here. Then we're going to grab a filter, and it's going to filter gold, which is going to be right through there. We're going to have to delete all of that, which is going to be right through there. Then we're going to throw a filter in here, which is going to filter gold, run that through there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do a launcher from here all the way up here. That's going to launch into a place that we can store seed, which I'm not sure what seed's used for yet. So we're going to throw that in there, which is cool. I don't think there's anything else that we've got there. Then we're going to just run that up there like that, just to, yeah. Right, and just run that down there like that. So that's going to bring that up there. In fact, let's just bring that right up there. It's going to drop gold there. Gold's going to drop into here, which will be good. That'll filter out gold. Now what we need to do, let's burn this. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to build ourselves another launcher, which is going to run from here all the way down to here like that, and up here and that way. There we go. Let's just try that. There we go. There we go. That's a little bit better. Then we're going to put a conveyor belt right here, and we're going to conveyor everything we can across to here. And that way, is it actually compressing? No, it's not. It says to drop it from a great height. Let's just delete that. Now there's probably something I'm doing that's completely wrong. You know, but this is me learning it. Let's grab all of this. Let's throw it all down there. Like so that that's not going into where the seed's supposed to go. It's all burnt residue. There we go. Grab that. Thank you very much. Maybe it actually needs to drop down rather than be sort of launched into there, right? So for example, if we were to bring a filter, bring a conveyor, run a conveyor there. No, maybe we just run filters and we filter burnt residue into there. Like so. And then we'll just conveyor the rest of it somewhere else. Whereabouts? Whereabouts will we conveyor it? That's the question. because it's just going to be other waste. So let's just drop it onto here, and let's run a filter here that is going to do seed, and that's going to do seed like that, and then the rest of the waste can go down here. I guess we'll just throw it down that hole now. In fact, we could probably go along here and just throw a whole pile of waste into here if we wanted to. And just do a big waste bin that we can turn into a burner later. Like, we'll turn this into a burner at some point so that we can just burn everything. Right, so that should be better, right? Let's see if it works now. Let's grab all of this, run that up there like that. It's going to run into there. It's going to filter that through, and it's turning it into gold and stuff. Beautiful, beautiful. And then all of the other waste is going through there. Actually, we need to delete this like that. There we go. Lovely. And then that'll all run through there, which has given us seed. And that was good. I really enjoyed like working that problem out and sorting that problem out. So this is going to take all of this stuff and it's going to run it all along. Run a conveyor there. It's going to run it all along here, and it's going to conveyor, bring it up here, drop it down, create more gold and more seed. So we should get gold starting to fall out of here, and that's going to go into here. And that's recycling. I don't know what we use the seeds for, but that is recycling. All right, let's get some more gold happening. I do want to see what happens up there as well. So let's get let's do a little bit more digging. Let's just dig all of this out, shall we? Why not? Let it turn into wet sand, right? Cool. Because we need to get some more stuff happening, and then we'll go and check that. We'll go and check that conveyor in a sec, and just make sure that that's working okay. Okay, number 2, and we'll throw that into here. We are running out of water, so we are going to need to do some sort of boiler in a minute, I think. Or sort out some sort of boiler so that we can actually gather our water. So, here we go. And we'll see if we can configure using that existing one that we've got there as well. So, the existing boiler that we found, if we can get that up and running. But I think we may have to get to tier 3. And the reason we may have to get to tier 3 is because I think that might be where we unlock our burners, which is what we are going to need to have the oh, there we go. To have the boilers up and running. So there we go. And then what we can do is we can automatically process. Look at all the extra gold we're getting out of that. We can set up a tub here, and we can automatically just have everything burn off automatically with a burner. So it'll just continually burn off and make burnt residue. So all of this residue will become burnt residue. If we build ourselves like I'll show you. If we just go into here and we build that in here like that, then this will just become a big tub for just a big tub for is that going to bring that across? It's not, is it? You bugger. Just that little one there. Just that little one there. You bugger. Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, so that's going to continue to do that. Any excess we're going to get coming down here, obviously, is sort of fallen down, but that's being recycled as well. So that's really, really good. Right, and we've got plenty of gold going in there. We need to do 3,000 burnt residue to be able to be successful on this. So let's have a look at our technology. Conveyor portal will be fantastic to unlock. We'll have that. Thank you very much. Cryo blaster would be good. Sweeper drone would be pretty cool. Thermal buffer. Unlocks a thermal buffer which can store and distribute heat for nearby machines. Okay. Probably going to need that for the boiler system because unlocks the burner belt that ignites flammable materials when fueled by heat through a thermal buffer. So that's how we work that out. Cool. Cool. Okay. That's lovely. At the moment, we're actually doing quite well, aren't we? Let's burn all of that off. We'll let it continually burn. Yeah, and we'll set up burners in here. Like we'll set up a burner here to continually ignite this stuff as it comes through, and then we can set up like a thermal buffer up here somewhere somehow, and use that to generate stuff as well. We've got plenty of stuff going through there. We've got plenty of seeds going through there, and we've got plenty of rubbish going into there. Nice, 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 nice. And then what we could probably do now that we've got the portals, the ports, is we could probably bring all this stuff back through here into here and then move it along again. So, there's so much to do in here. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it very much. This is Sandustry, and I think there's going to be hundreds and hundreds of hours of enjoyment in this. I mean, we've only scratched the surface at this point in time, just the basic surface. So, crazily enough, but yeah, quite enjoyable so far, which is absolutely fantastic. So, thank you so much, everybody, for watching this, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.